try.
You actually want? I thought you wanted.
I want some royalty-free light beats for this. I want to make a grand entrance. It's too late. We're live. You messed it up. We're trying. What's up? With this whole Facebook Live, like you guys have all been experiencing, there's no tunes. Everyone's music is getting shut down. So we're going to try to find some royalty-free, uplifting, instrumental beat. Watch it get pulled down now. What up, everyone?
I make a grand entrance. Some royalty.
How you guys doing? Let me know that you can hear me in This Brand Means Business. We are talking about my schedule. My schedule. So I posted last week about, who wanted some insight. I can't focus with that. Maybe just like light. And then watch after we do this. It's going to get pulled down.
Should we just turn it off?
Let's see what's up.
Feeling risky?
I'm feeling risky today.
Okay.
So last week I posted who wants to see my schedule, and so many of you here said yes, 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 me, and so many of you inside my BY community said yes, please. So we have been talking about this action plan. I have been going on about this GSD challenge. I've been going on about creating an action plan. If you've been following along, if you've showed up to the kickoff calls, if you've raised your hand and you said, yes, I am going to do this, whether that is inside This Brand Means Business, you're going to make it happen on your own, or whether you have jumped into my Build Your Empire program and you're going to do it with me, either way, you have committed. Now, I want to, before we get into our GSD actual mode next week, I want to unpack this a little bit more. And what that means is it's nice to have an action plan. It's nice to know, it's necessary to know what we're doing week by week to make sure this whole project comes together. But if you don't have your schedule sorted out, if you do not have it done, it's not going to happen. And I'll tell you, I am not an organized person. I am not someone who considers myself to be really good with time management. Like, I am the queen of procrastination. I am constantly in anxiety because I procrastinate. I'm constantly feeling flustered and overwhelmed. You're like, wow, you're really amazing. You sound awesome. But I'm telling you this because despite feeling all these things and despite having all these, I want to say, weaknesses in my business, I know what I'm good at. What I'm not good at is scheduling and being organized. But what I've had to do so that I have the business that I have is really be a ninja with my schedule, because I figured out a while ago that, like, I'm motivated, like, my main driver is fear of failure. And I'm sure many of you can relate. Like, I'm totally scared of not doing what it is that I say I'm going to do in my business. So that's why this GSD challenge, you guys have committed that you're going to do what you said you're going to do in your business. We've mapped out the project plan. You've come along the challenge, right? For those of you who've done it, you're awesome. Those of you who've jumped into BY, we're mapping out the prep work. But now we have to dissect your calendars, your personal calendars. We're all in different situations, right? Some of us have little people you're taking care of. Some of you have jobs, all kinds of obligations. So I want you guys to, I'm going to let you in on my schedule. So it feels a little bit invasive. Like, it's super personal. I'm like, I really wanted to make sure that I didn't delete anything so that you could see that it's real. Because a lot of people ask me all the time, like, how do you get so much done? And what do you do? And how do you hold yourself accountable? So I really wanted to make it real. So I'm going to show you my schedule. If you guys are here, say what's up. I'm watching it on another screen. So I'm going to share my Skidge. How do we do this here? I'm going to share my cleaner desktop, actually. I'm on 2 screens. This one's going to be messy. Can you guys hear the tunes? The light, royalty-free tunes in the background?
Pretty, like,
it's pretty what?
Motivational.
All right. Okay, so it's pretty motivational. I'm going to share my screen. You've asked to see my schedule and what I do, and here it goes. The first thing, actually, I need you guys to do, how do we do this here? Desktop 2. Desktop 2, share screen. You guys should be seeing my desktop right now. The first thing I want you guys to do, and this is everybody in this brand news business, this is every coaching client of mine, this is every BYE member of mine. I want you guys to write down these blocks of times, and you can just right now while we're live, right? So this is my business. This is my schedule. You can, yours might have other things going on that you have to do. Either way, I want you guys to write down these blocks of time. For me, I have block 1 is like workouts, no phone zone, social time, off time, right? So we're creating your schedule from scratch. I'm showing you my schedule. We're going to map out how you are going to GSD and implement your GSD challenge and project plan like a boss. So if you have kids who have appointments and schools and things that you have to, work your life around, then you got to put that in your schedule. So the second thing is reoccurring tasks in my business. So I have Facebook groups that I have to go in and manage. I do 30 minutes a day. Content creation, 3 hours per week, weekly meetings. So I have a weekly meeting with my team every single week. Even if you are working by yourself, I need you to have a weekly meeting. This is where you round up. This is where you go through all the different tasks, and this is where you set the time aside in your week. And I'm going to show you how I do this in my schedule. And the reason why this is so important, it might not look like a sexy topic right now, but the reason why this is so important is because I need you to have the bandwidth to go ahead and create your execution plan. Is it execution plan? Every time I say execution plan, I'm like, ooh, is that a bad, I feel like execution. You need to execute your execution plan. I think it's okay. And then I'm addicted to watching those things on A&E about on death row or whatever.
Like,
and I'm
what's
like,
their
oh
last
my gosh.
meal?
Yeah. So then I'm like, when I'm talking, am I totally? Anyway. So I need you guys to create the bandwidth in your mind so that you can execute, so that you can implement your project plan. So that's a weekly meeting that you have to have, whether you have a team or whether you're doing it by yourself. I don't care. It needs to go down. Then what else? Emails, admin, loose ends, client work, PR and marketing. I have 2 hours. Then this is the big thing. So for those of you who are following GSD and who are launching a project plan, I look at my business in different projects. There's always a project happening, whether it's a new program I'm launching, whether it's a program I'm relaunching, there's always a project going on in my business next to all the different moving pieces. And you don't have to stop all the moving pieces. Your business doesn't stop while you're launching a program. You don't stop blogging. You don't stop having your team meetings. You don't stop your client work. You don't stop your Facebook group. You just have this other project that you're working on. So we have to, look at this other project like it's your part-time job, right? So if you were given a part-time job and you had to make ends meet and you had to go do something completely unrelated to your day-to-day, whatever your day-to-day includes, right? So you have to go and to this other job. While you're at this other job, you cannot worry or focus or spend time on doing all those things in your day-to-day because you are now at your part-time job. And whether it's 5 hours a week or 10 hours a week that you have for this part-time job, while you're there, you're there. So when it comes to your project plan, while you're working on your project plan, that is your part-time job that has to happen in complete isolation, separate from all the other moving pieces in your business. And then I have tasks, so my weekly action plan tasks. So let's dive into my schedule and show you exactly what it is that I'm talking about. I'm losing my voice, by the way. I'm getting sick, I think. All right, don't freak out. This is my schedule. So when everybody wants to know how I manage my time, how I manage my day-to-day, this is it. So here's what happens. Can you guys see that okay? If you guys are on here live, can you let me know that it's clear for you? Give me a yes. All right, so here's my schedule. All those things that I talked about, right? Here are all the different blocks of time. They're blocked into my schedule, right? So all the non-negotiables, my workouts, what were the other things? Like my team meetings, everything here. So you have your own life. You have your own schedule. The time you wake up and all the different obligations you have and whether you've got other people that you need to consider and all the standing appointments, put that in first, right? Block off time, right? So if there's time that, I don't want you to, as entrepreneurs, it's easy to go ahead and work from the minute we wake up to the minute we go to bed. I want you to block off your off time, block off your no phone time. So block that stuff off first. And I do this in iCal. You can do this in Google Cal, however you want. So I set these up. They're reoccurring meetings. They're in stone. That's another thing I think I do in my business. I put things in stone, right? So my schedule is not like, maybe I'm going to work on my project plan today, or hopefully I feel like working on my project plan today. It's like, whether I like it or not, I'm working on my project plan today, right? So this is how I treat my business, and I want you guys to see that. So all the different reoccurring things that have to go into your schedule, your time blocks. So for me, like, let me just pull this up on 2 screens here. So put these in here. Facebook groups. I like to get it done in the morning. So every single morning for 30 minutes, I'm in my Facebook group. If you had a job, if you went to work and you showed up and you're like, hey, I'm ready to work, your boss or your schedule that you would have, or whatever it is that you would have to do when you have your daily tasks or your weekly tasks or your job duties, would tell you, you have to do all these things. And then on your monthly review, you would see, hey, did I do these things? Did I fail at these things? It's not negotiable, right? So you're the CEO of your business. You're the COO, you're the marketing manager, you're the content creator, you're the everything. You have to make these things so important and schedule them in. So Facebook groups, my content creation gets scheduled in, my emails, my loose ends, and all this stuff. This way, when I get to work and I get my coffee, which is over, by the way, I sit down. I can't be like, okay, I'm at my computer. Like, what am I working on? That doesn't work like that. As you can see, you're looking at my schedule right now. I need to be live right now, and that's what I'm doing. I'm live right now. I have a 30-minute buffer after I go live to transcribe this live, to get it out on a blog, to get that all happening, and then I have to go through all my clients. I go through a client role from 1 to 2:30, and then my exact to-dos for the day are inside my calendar. So I cannot worry about right now. I can't worry about my PR meeting on Thursday, or all of these other things that I'm thinking about, because they all have their own dedicated time in my scheduler. So these are all like the moving pieces, right? And then the big question is, well, what about the project plan? What about that big launch? What about that big project? What about that part-time job? For those of you who are doing the GSD challenge and you've created your action plan, right? This can't fall into one big cluster beep of I have to work, right? Because then you have to launch your program, you have to finish your action plan, you have to write your blog, you have to go live. Like, it's too crazy. I want you to dissect it into your calendar exactly when it's going to happen, so that you're showing up to work like it's a real job, and you have your tasks and your deadlines, and you know when you're going to do it. So your project plan, in my case, I'm starting my project plan next week. So I have, here you can see that we're doing a GSD Challenge Week 1 kickoff call, because it's May 1. It's the first Monday. We're going to be doing our kickoff calls every single Monday at 1 p.m. right here in this Brand Means Business, as well as in BYE for all of you who are jumping in and doing this with me. So there have been, I just refreshed, and there's been some comments. I haven't been able to see them live, so if you can shout me out with those. So we're doing the kickoff call every single Monday. So my project plan work has to be scheduled, because I'm doing my own project plan, just like you guys are. So it's not going to happen unless I put that time in my calendar. So after my live on Monday at 1 p.m., I have an hour buffer to get a snack and to do whatever. I like to give myself buffers, because when you look at all the things that you have to do, it's not that crazy when you actually put in your schedule. And I know that if I don't have it in my schedule for that day and that week, I start thinking about all the millions of things that I have to do. So starting at Monday at 3 o'clock, I'm implementing my project plan. And then I'm working on my project plan again on Tuesday, and then again a bit on Friday. All my personal stuff, all of my dinners and no phone zones and off time, it's in there. My workouts are in there. Everything is in there. So I don't have to worry about not having a life or feeling overwhelmed. I go to work on my schedule the same way that I would if I had a real job. Okay, anything for me?
No, everyone's saying yes.
Yes, my schedule. Everybody can see what I'm doing. All right, so for example, all right, so let's just regroup a little bit. I'm glad that there's some love here, because I was looking at it, I'm like, where are my people? Okay, so first thing is schedule in all these blocks, right? So if you're starting with a blank schedule, and I do have all my VP clients project plans as well, because I'm crazy like that. I need to stop you guys on what you're doing all the time. So let's just say you're starting with a blank slate, because I know looking at mine is like super overwhelming. Can be, right?
So Michelle says, this is hard for her to stick with because of her kids' life and schedule can change in an instant.
No problem. So I totally get that. You've got little people that have their own schedules. Okay, sample. So first, what I want you to do then, first thing we have to do is schedule in all the hard, like non-negotiables, right? So let's say that you know that your kids have to be picked up from school at 3 o'clock, and that's going to happen. So you're off because you have pickup happening here. Pick up. Okay, so then you would put those in all the time, right? And then you have to prep dinner because your little people have to eat. So just kind of start with a blank slate and see what's happening here. So the kids have to go to bed. So this is kind of like not a veil, right? Because your mom and I don't know what mom's schedules require, but I'm assuming that kids got to go to bed. I want you to block this time off. So if you had to get, let's say you had to get a part-time job and you had to make, you have to make ends meet, you have to get a part-time job. If you have, let's say you know that you're gonna, on Sunday, you're gonna get some help from someone else to help you with the kids. And on Sunday from 8 a.m. to, let's say even noon, it's mom work time, mom GSD time, right? So I want you to put those GSD times in your schedule, right? So if you can get a couple blocks around in GSD time, so this way we can start to put what you're doing in those actual GSD. We're going to break down exactly what has to happen week by week. So for me to say that I'm working from 7 to 10 isn't enough detail for me. I need to sit at my computer and I need to know what are the tasks that I'm getting done. If something came up and something happened at 7 a.m. on GSD time, I'm going to show you my schedule, what happens. So these are all the things that I have to do. I know it feels overwhelming, but you just got to get into this rhythm and it actually clears up so much of your bandwidth. So there are things that I was supposed to do last week that I did not do, right? So what ends up happening is I have to move them over, like these are like my to-dos. I have to move them over. So if something came up and I'm not able to add the timer to my BYE promo emails, I didn't do it on the weekend, I'm doing that tonight before I go to bed. That's my job. This is my business, right? This is the way that it has to work. So you have to be realistic with yourself. So there was a whole bunch of things. Alyssa's like, you got to do this. And I said, I can't do that today. I'm not able to do that. Looking at my schedule, we have a full content day that I have to get through. I have a bachelorette this weekend. I'm hanging out with my sister who's coming in. I'm not going to get that done until next week. I got to put that in my calendar next week. I think I'm going to require half an hour to do that. Give me an hour. So I start moving things around my schedule in order of priority, and this way I can see all the different tasks that are there in front of me. So I want you guys to start with a blank schedule. Your workouts, your whether it's time to listen to your podcast, whether it's stuff you need to meditate, you need to hang out with your partners, you need to hang out with your kids, you need to be done, you need to be off, you want to be, like the things that you need to do to not go crazy, block those in as best as you can. If your schedule is not flexible or you cannot put things in stone like that, plan your week ahead of time. Here is what I hope is going to happen. And then as the day moves, for example, today you're looking at my schedule, I have a client call tomorrow at 10 a.m. with my VIP client, Renee. That's booked in there. It has to happen. I need about 2 hours-ish to get ready for this client call. So I have this in my schedule to do today, prep Renee client call. If for whatever reason today ends and beep hit the fan as it always does, guess what? I got to move that. I got to get that done somehow, which means that I have to move my prep for Thursday's meeting, maybe till later Thursday, and I have to get that in on Wednesday morning. So I just start shuffling things around to make sure they get done. So I'm going to move this one step further. So just to regroup, all your non-negotiables for your personal life, your schedule. I also schedule in personal things every single week to hang out with my friends and to do things. Otherwise, I feel like I'm going nuts and I don't have a life. So I like to schedule those things in first. And then all these other things got to go in there. My project plan time is when I'm actually working on the current project that I've got going on in my business. If my week is slammed, hello, work on Sunday. Hello, work on Saturday. Right? Hello, work late at night. I'm an entrepreneur. That's the accountability that I hold myself to. So that is what I expect of my clients. I understand that many of you are crazy, crazy busy. Be realistic with what is available to you, right? So you just have to be your business, you're building your business and working executing your project, there's no way to dance around this topic. It's going to take time. So if you are not spending the time on your business and your stuff isn't happening, you cannot be surprised. So you have to either be more realistic and say, okay, this is going to take me a little longer because I am not able to dedicate this time to building up my project plan. Or you have to say, shit, I got to hold myself accountable and I need to put this time in my schedule. And if it's important to me to do all these other things in my life, I need to make it as important to me to hold myself to that project plan. If I say in my life and my business that I'm working on executing my own project plan, like I'm going to have you all do starting next week, that I'm going to start this next Monday. I have a kickoff call with you guys, pep talk. We're going to discuss that week. And then I'm working on my project plan at 3 o'clock. I sit at my computer, Facebook away, emails away, everything away, and I'm working on my business. That's the only way I get things done. I'm working on my business when I say I'm going to be working on my business, doing what I say it is and I'm going to be doing. And that is why my business moves as fast as it does, and that's why it works. So I just need you guys to slowly start adopting the same accountability with your schedules so that you're not coming to Monday thinking, I got to blog, I got to go live, I got to this, I got to that, I'm overwhelmed, the tech, then my website, blah, 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 right? You have to put those in your schedule and do it no matter what. Okay, so those weekly meetings, I wanted to touch on this quickly. Are there any questions?
Not yet.
9.
A lot of people were saying if emergencies come up, what do you do? And I think you addressed that. Just moving it around in your schedule. No, anybody else have any questions?
Okay, so this is Bun today, by the way.
Someone says learning how to use Google Calendar right now. Craig, what do you use?
Shit's getting sorted. I think that's just a comment. Okay. We've got some light hip hop beats happening in the background. I like it. Okay.
A couple people said you should have babies.
I should have babies. Okay, no problem.
If you
Do you guys like my Blue Jay socks today? I always have some fun outfit, some addition to show you guys. Okay, so I want to take this one step further and show you guys my action plan, which is an even more personal ting. So if I go today, so with this weekly meeting that I want you guys to have with your teams, no matter what, if you are working by yourself, you need to brain dump all that stuff and all those to-dos in your brain. It's got to get out, because if it doesn't get out, you're just going to be thinking about all these things and you're not going to have the clarity and the bandwidth to sit and do what you need to do. Building a business, you're going to have to sometimes sit and you're going to have to write emails. You're going to have to sit and you're going to have to figure techie things out. You're going to have to sit or stand. I have a standing desk and we don't use it. But you're going to have to park down and focus on getting that thing done. And if your brain is busy with all these things that you have to do, it's not going to happen. So here's what I do. I have a weekly meeting that I used to have with myself. Now I'm lucky to have a team. We have it together. So we write down anything that is in my brain, anything that I can think of, until it's to the point where I got nothing. So we schedule everything. So if I'm thinking about, let me show you guys one from last week, for example. If I'm thinking about this blog that I need to rewrite, or if I'm thinking about an affiliate launch, or if I'm thinking about someone I've been networking with that I need to reply to, or if I'm thinking about anything that I'm thinking about, you guys know we're always thinking about things in our business. There's always all these random moving pieces. So if I asked you right now, look, brain dump everything. Brain dump all the things that you've got going on, and then put that onto your action plan, is what I call it. And I do this every single week during the meeting, and then we set deadlines. And those deadlines then get put into my calendar based on importance. So some things I'm just like, it's on my mind, it's not a priority right now, we're kind of busy right now, move that. Or if there's something that I need to do, then I'm like, okay, that's gonna take me an hour, give me 90 minutes, and put that into my calendar when I'm working. Not when I'm working on my action plan, not when I'm creating my content, but there's other working time around. So we just brain dump absolutely everything. Everything has a deadline. And then some things, so every single week I go back to the previous weeks and then I move things over. And then I keep moving things over. And anytime during the week when something is coming up and I need to, oh gosh, I need to do ABC, that's not how it goes in my head. It's more like there's a lot of cursing involved. It's not, oh gosh, it's something else. But I go to my action plan for that week and I just type it at the bottom there and I get it out of my mind because I don't have time to think about all those different moving pieces while I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing in my business. So today I'm going through all my clients. I have some prep work that I have to do. I have to put a campaign to bed. When you look at the things that you have to do and the amount of time that you have, it's manageable, especially when I know that having a life has been accounted for, especially that I know that having a social life has been accounted for because that's uber important. My workouts, my off time, my no phone time, all those things have been accounted for, and my work is being moved around those times, and my project that I'm launching or my business that I'm like my next launch that I'm having is like my part-time job. And then all the other moving pieces and tasks are from my brain dumps getting scheduled, separate from those separate from those reoccurring. I try to, if you guys know, and you guys know me, like I skip through the words that I can't say properly. And there's like a long list of words I have trouble with for some reason. Reoccurring, recurring, the live recurring, because I don't know if it's reoccurring. Why do
I think maybe it's fine.
She's laughing at me as if she doesn't have the same issue. Maybe it's fine. The live reoccurring appointments that I have in my schedule, like creating content, like being in my Facebook groups, like checking in on my clients, like all those things are non-negotiables. That's the maintenance of my brand. That is a separate container altogether. So that is how I manage my life. That is how I manage my schedule. It's taken some time and some growth in this. It's like entrepreneurial muscles, right? To hold yourself accountable. But if you can start creating these systems and this routine for yourself, right? So all my, by the way, another thing that I do that I want to share with you guys, which is kind of cool while we're here. So let's say that I'm working on something as opposed to me looking and do you guys see where do you see? 1 second. My calendar. Okay. So as opposed to me like looking for what it is that I need to look for, I have all the links inside. Like here, I need to go live. I have a link for what it is that I'm talking about that I prepare ahead of time. And the time to prepare what I'm going live for is also in my schedule so that I'm not worried about going live. I'm not worried about what I'm going to say. So I have this a Google Doc with the different notes so that I know exactly what it is that I'm doing. And then next week has one, and I can sort of start as I'm thinking or having shower thoughts, I can start, taking my notes for what it is that I'm going to talk about and say. So everything kind of has its hub, and the hub of my life and the hub of my business is my schedule. So that's how I do it. That's how Crazy Steph does it. So for those of you who are GSDing with me, I'm going to challenge you guys to mapping out your schedules. Map it out as best as you can. Move it around. Start moving it around if you have to. If a phone call comes and you got to take your car in to get tire changed and you got to go to what? Phone calls don't come to get tire changed, do they?
I don't think so.
No?
Not that we would know.
Why don't we know? You don't drive. I drive. I change my tires. So if you have to, like, what is something that would come up?
I don't know. You got to go to the bank.
You got to go to the bank. You got to get your tires changed. Your hair is orange. You got to get your hair fixed. If things happen in life and you got to do them, you're going to make an appointment and schedule them. Start treating these things in your business like they are appointments, where it's not, hopefully you do it, you have to do it. If something urgent comes up and you got to change it, you got to reschedule it. So that's how I started treating the different things in my business, including getting my emails out, holding myself accountable to my project plans, my workouts, right? So this is something, all these different things, like they are appointments in my schedule. I'm the boss of my schedule. There's nothing more important to me than me holding myself accountable, because this is not like an idea. These are my dreams. Having this business and doing my own thing and having a lifestyle that I manage, this is my dream. So there's nothing more scary than this not working out. So if I can make it to the dentist when they call me and they bother me, why can't I make it to my live? If I can make it to get my tires changed during an appointment, why can I not hold myself accountable to that part-time job with my project plan? So I want you guys to get your schedule going. You have the action plan, meaning what we're going to do week by week if you've been following along. For those of you that are doing it starting next week, I would love to see a screenshot of your schedules, the way that I just mapped out with all the different pieces of your schedule, know when you can move it around, get a system going. This is my system. If you hate it, no problem. Get some sort of system going, because you cannot show up to work when it comes time to get shit done and hope that your business is going to build. You need deadlines, you need accountability, you need to have your brain done, you need to schedule every piece of this in. So I really hope this was helpful for you. And let me know, of course, if there are any questions. And I really want you guys to post pictures. And if you are not yet joining me inside Build Your Empire, and you're in this Branding business and you're not a client of mine or a member inside my program, you still have time to jump in. Starting May 1, I'm going to be personally coaching those of you that are in. You know that you're locked and loaded. The prep work is all done. Now there's more homework. I want your schedules. And if you still want to come in, there is still time to join. The link to do that is stephaniejoanne.com/GSD. That is my Build Your Empire program. We're going to be, you'll come in right away, but we're going to be kicking off with about 30 people inside that group, where I'm going to be hustling you guys live to give you the accountability, the coaching, and move this whole thing along. Because the quickest way and the best way and the most powerful way for you guys to learn is to have a coach that kind of throws you in the fire, who totally gets it, who gets all the moving pieces, but you need to be challenged. That's when the magic happens. So I'm wishing you guys all an amazing day, and we'll talk to you guys soon.